we talk about streaming data, and every company, one of the biggest points of folly that I've seen at an organization is, hey, we see a need for what agentic AI can provide in our supply chain. Like if somebody says we see a need for agentic AI and they stop there, it's like saying I have a need for a shovel. No, I need to dig a hole. A shovel is the thing I use to do that. So one, watch out. But two is when somebody says we think we have a problem that agentic AI can solve, but we can't start until we figured out our data. I hear this all the time. And Mark has presented a very good, technically ready capability that companies could go start with to actually get their data in line. But a lot of companies decide they're going to start on the data before they look at the problem. And they spend 2 years trying to figure out what get your data in line means. And then they never actually solve the problem they started to do it to begin with, right? And so it becomes this big, grand project with no real outcome. And so I would recommend everybody do two things, right? But I would almost do it from the end and say, I'm going to solve this problem and I'm going to build whatever of this architecture is required, or work with a vendor to help me build this architecture to solve the problem that I cared about. And I'm going to do it in a way where I'm not backing myself into a corner, so it's extensible in the future and I can use it for other problems that I want to solve. Most companies don't do that, and that is problem number one. Problem number two is identifying with the challenge you're trying to overcome is, are we trying to make an existing process faster, better? Otherwise, are we trying to replace that process altogether? Whichever of the two it is, you have to have the ability to map your data to the decision-making that you want to embody. Very few companies do that either, right? But step one, pick the problem. Step two, figure out what data is required to solve the problem. Step three, figure out how that data influences the decision-making that you want to automate. And I find very few companies get that far.